Good afternoon, everyone. Doing a video on Sunday I'm starting something in I'm going to do it on my YouTube as well as in my group Junk Journal Craft and Chat. It's kind of a take on the Roxy challenge, but I'm just going to, she has a 100-day challenge. I'm not sure how many days I'm doing. I'm just calling it the JJCC weekly challenge, and that's the initials for my group. I'm going to start off, I'm kind of doing it a little bit different. I've been swaying back and forth on ideas. Right now for it, we're going to start with, I'm going to call it a pocket box or basket. Mine sit in a basket, and it's ready-made pockets. And I have quite a few pockets here, and you know what? I never grab these because I don't have them really accessible to my desk. So I'm going to work on organizing my rolling cart for the top of it to put my pockets and my tags in it, so it sits to the top, and I can just, when I'm making a journal, I can look through it and get to it. So I'm going to be adding more things into it. I might eventually need a bigger basket, but for now this will work. So what you can do is grab a basket like this. I get these in either I think it's in a set of 2 or set of 3, and I go to our Dollar Tree here in Canada, and it's $1.50. I think in the States it's $1.25, and I get them. I have them. I use them for so many things. These little baskets, they're amazing. I also get these little white ones as well, but you can use a box as well. You just need a decent size. Another box that would be good. Do I have one handy? Oh, I don't know if any of you get the ink in, but I use a lot of these ink boxes because they're nice and strong and they're decent size. They're the same size as that, so you can do a box. And I didn't finish collaging this, but you can collage it if you want it to look pretty. So this is what we're going to first start on, is our pocket box. So I know as of right now I have 3 different types of pockets, but I have a 4th one, I'm pretty sure, and a 5th one. I think for April we're going to do pockets, because a lot of people in my group have been asking for pocket ideas. So we're going to do that. I'm going to just stick this back in my rolling tray so I don't knock it over and spill it over. For this one, it's really easy. You could use digitals if you have digitals, especially if you're working on a project and you want something in particular for it. But for my group, some people don't have access to digitals. So I grabbed a few books, and I'm doing my take on this. With my video, I'm going to also link Roxy's video. It was the first video she did in her 2023 Roxy Challenge. So I'll link her video as well. But I'm going to put my hashtag plus her hashtag, and if you click on the hashtag, it'll take you all to the Roxy challenges as well. So I didn't rip out my pages yet. I just grabbed the books. So I'm going to grab a few pages. The Reader's Digest one is almost empty. I'm just going to grab a couple from there. This one here, I'm going to grab a couple. I'm just grabbing some different sizes. Now hers, she uses it smaller, but only smaller book pages. But I'm going to take a little bit of my own take on it as well. So I might want the larger. You could use music pages in this too. I didn't grab any, which I should have. I'm going to grab, this is a French grammar book from here in Quebec. I don't think it's vintage, very vintage. I think it's 1971. But I like it because, first of all, it's French from here in Canada, and I love the fact that it's got some writing in it and things like that. So I'm just going to take one of these. I usually save this pages. I'm going to make one pocket using this, but it can be all kinds of different books pages depending on what you want to do. I have to put those away properly afterwards. I also could have used my basic bookkeeping, and I'm getting low on this, and I think I might have ripped it out. But at the Walmart in a little town in Ontario that we drive 45 minutes to, in the Walmart, they have a table at the front when you leave, and people can donate books, and you make a donation and take a book. And I found this great old bookkeeping teaching book. And as you can see, I've loved using it. And my problem is I've used a lot of the pages that have that on it. So it can be any style of book you want. It doesn't even have to be an old book, because the way you're going to do this, it's not like you're putting it as a flip in your journal. So, oh, I just tossed the book I wanted all the way back. Ouch! And I forgot my glasses were in my head, and I just bent over and hit the shelf. Sorry guys. I didn't think about this book till just like it clicked into my mind now, but I have a feeling I threw it all the way down behind the shelf, which means I have to pull out the whole bookshelf to get to it. Oh well. I'll just use this one. For instance, sometimes I grab these at the dollar store, especially for things that I'm going to cover. That way, it's not a vintage that, especially if I'm covering it. Sometimes I don't like covering the vintage ones. I like them to kind of, even in my journals, I won't necessarily cover them. I'll let the page, and I'm learning that not everything has to have a decoration or a pocket. You can enjoy. Let me see if I can show you quickly what I mean. I'll just grab this because I know I did it in this journal, because this is something I'm learning not to do. I'm just trying to find it. For instance, this is a vintage book page that someone sent me, and I didn't want to cover it. I don't want to put a big pocket. I'm probably going to put a little flower or butterfly down here in the corner, and I'm just letting the page speak for itself. Oh, I know what it is. My friend Pascal, she at Christmas gave me a bunch of vintage French books she had, and the pages are very fine because it's old. So I put washi tape. Washi tape on each side before I folded it over, and I made a little pocket. I think I have one the other side of it, and I collaged a little bit on that part, but then I put just a little in there, and then over here I wanted some more writing space, so I made a little hinge so that this still really shows, and I just did a little collage. So you don't necessarily always have to cover, and that's especially vintage. So sometimes I grab now the cheap books at dollar store when I'm going to especially cover the majority of the book page. I took that dictionary book and I forgot to pull out pages from it. Could you imagine? I tell you, it's because it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm kind of working on planning. I'm trying to get better in my group and in my YouTube and plan a little bit better. So I'm trying to get all my stuff for April planned, and all my events and my challenges up for the beginning of April. That way, because we have busy lives, right? So that way people can look at, okay, this is what's coming up in the April. I want to do this, this, and this, and they can put it into their schedule. So I'm trying to help, and it for me as well. I grabbed a bigger page, and I only grabbed one because I want to show you something in a bit. Let me get on to the pocket. And so she just took her book page. Of course, she folded her book page in half like this, and then doesn't matter which way you flip it, she flipped it up, made a little pocket. Now, if your pages she took and glued, because this is kind of fine, she glued it down to reinforce it. But also what you can do is, sometimes I'll put nice washi tape on the top of it as well to add and use it in the collaging of the page. So basically That's it. I'm just going to grab my, but it's got to go this way. I just want to do these seams a little tighter, and then it's going to flip. If I'm correct, she had the pockets on the outside. You could put the pockets either way, depending on what you're going to do. So that's basically it. So I'm just going to fold the rest of them. So fold it in half first, Christy. You see, I can't even follow my own directions. Right? And then we're going to flip it up. And now if you want it higher, you can do it higher. And depending on the size of the book page you're using, can depend on the size that you're making it, of the pocket. And then you're just folding it over. This is like great to keep on hand in your, now this edge isn't straight, and I'm not going to worry about that because I don't mind it. I don't mind that. I've been liking more and more the torn pages in here. And then fold it like this. Oh, fold it like, well, it doesn't really matter. I just fold it the reverse. Just, and then I'll just do this. So I didn't make that one very high. I should have made it just a touch higher. I don't know what I was thinking there. Maybe I wasn't thinking. That's the whole thing. So as you can see, you just make, I mean, you can make them one by one if you want to. Fold it in half. Fold it up. Fold it back over. So you can grab as many, make as many as you want of these. Now I'm going to leave that exactly that way. Sometimes what I do here, and I don't have my glue stick, and I'm almost out of glue again because I've been doing a lot of gluing. I know sometimes they leave them, but I sometimes just glue those broken pieces down and just add to the charm of it. So you can do that with those pieces too. And it, you know, it helps with the vintage look. I didn't do it all because I just wanted to show it quickly. I'll do it more when I'm decorating. And I want that on the, see, I think it's easier to fold the page first. If you can imagine, we got probably about we were between 15 and 25 centimeters we were supposed to get. And I think on the top, if it's 25, I think that's about 8 inches of snow yesterday night, and it's snowing again. We can't even see grass yet here. We still have pile high of snow. And I'm jealous seeing people with showing little flowers. My friend's sister in BC showed her first little flower blooming. So there we go, another one done. I find it easier to fold it in half first, even though I reverse it after. I keep making them so small, and I don't have to. Okay, and I'm doing one big one, and that can be your choice, what you decide. But this will not go in my pocket box, this one. I'm just going to even this page up a little. Just a bit. Excuse me. Okay, before we decorate, I'll show you this. Now, for me, this case, I am probably going to go this way with it. There we go. Okay, so the purpose of this, I grabbed one journal that was to the top. So I'm just trying to find an empty page here. So two things you can do with this. You could put it on a page. I'm just going to check, make sure I've got that in focus there. In the screen, I should say. You can do it like a wraparound on the page like this. And then you could paper clip it in, or I mean, you could always put a little glue there if you want to leave it that way. Or you can put it like this in the book, and depending on, I think you have to do it this way, sorry. Depending on where the pocket is, will also change. You could glue it on three sides this way and put one going this way and have the two pockets. Or you can glue it this way, have pocket going this way, plus the pockets in here. And if you want, you could add a pocket here. Well, sometimes what I'll do is I'll put a piece of writing paper here so you can write here and go that way. So you can do it that way as well. And depending on which way you flip this, I'm trying to think if I put it on this side, it still works. So that's two ways you can do it in the book. So you could put it in the middle if you wanted to, or you could go down here. Now, before I decorate, I'm just going to show you one more thought I had. And I just got to kind of, I think I have kind of a, I don't think I sewed this one. This is all pages I have folded that I have that, oh, this is my, I've been looking for that. It's a little bit of a writing I was doing. Trying to journal, so I only started with a small one, and then I couldn't find it. So let me just put these. These are just pages I've had sitting around on my desk, so I folded them and made them. And these came folded from somebody, so I just put them in with my pages. So those, I have a basket of pages that are ready to be used in journal. So I have that. Sometimes when I get a lot of papers, and sometimes when I'm using a kit, what's left over. So I have this journal. I do this style. I like it. So I've got pages like this was something that was sent to me, and I loved it. I wanted it as a page. I'm not covering it. I might cover this side where I put a pocket. This I collaged, and I was a leftover of something, so I just decided to make it my cover. And I like this cascading effect. And a lot of times what I'll do with these is I'll pull them even more, depending on what paper you want to see the most of. And I'll do more of a cut, because I like that. I have another journal I do. So this is some pages, right? I haven't sewn it because I put an envelope in here, a few little different papers, a coffee filter that I had, and I'm going to turn it into a tuck. Just some papers I had laying around, and I decided just to throw them into a book form for a journal. So what I was thinking, and see, I had pulled this, I got this sent as a gift, and I loved how they did the coloring on it. So I'm going to put it in as a page here, but I want, now with these, you could put it, if you want a smaller ones, you could put a couple like this in your journal, right? And you could have them on the outside or the inside, like pages, if you'd like to sew them in. This is where that nice bigger one comes along, where you can stick it right in like that, as well as, now I would, so then it's a page in my journal, and then I have the pockets already here. So that's how I thought of that same thing, but it's not really a pocket. I just wanted to show you using that same method, how you can use it in other ways. So, and I'm leaving it there because I'm going to put it in, and I have these two other pieces that are floating here that I was going to see, but I might make a new, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't count this as a page. 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got to break up some of this. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I usually make this around 18, because by the time I add everything, it becomes really fat. So that is why my take on using and the fold as well. You could turn it into a page. I'm going to put that aside and we're going to go back to this. So once you've done this, I got to fold it back this way. Now, all you're going to do, two things you could do. You could, if you don't want to decorate them, you could just put them in your pocket box like this, so that if, depending on the color of a journal, you might want to decorate it at that time. I probably will do both, but you could also take this, excuse me, always when I turn on the camera, what you could do also, you could, if you're somebody who uses a lot of pink, you might want to go ahead and decorate the whole thing up in your colors. Or you can take more, where's my scrap box? This is where scraps come in handy. Or then you could take, I'm just looking through my scraps here. Let me see, I have a pile of scraps on my desk. Let's see if I've got something big enough that I want. And you don't have to put one big, you could also collage it. Now I made that pocket a little small. I want to make it a little wider. Right, so you could grab any kind of, if you wanted to keep it neutral. I'm trying to see if I have a neutral in here. If you wanted to put words on words, something like that, you could do. If you have, for instance, for me, I always have digital scraps. You could add your digital scraps in as well, or scrapbooking scraps. Do I have a piece of scrapbooking paper in here? I do. This was a piece of scrapbooking paper that someone sent me. They wrote on the one side of it, but to me, that's still usable. So then you can use your scrapbooking. And this is not that heavy scrapbooking paper. It's thinner. It's not the hard cardstock ones. I have quite a few of those. I buy them a lot of times at the dollar store, where they're not as thick, or you get the sheets. I have a lot of those. I have to clean those out. I've got them sitting in bins, and because they're piled on each other, I never go in. And I really like that there. So I'm going to put that there because I like it. And of course it does go in the inside like this when we put it in. But for now, because I'm decorating it, I just flipped it this way for now, so to make it easier. Or I don't even have to flip it, but it's easier. I like that a lot. And then I think, see, I have this too that I could put there if I wanted to pull the green. The thing here is I don't really want to lose, but I do lose a lot of that. Save that for one of the bigger ones where I see more image, because I don't really want to lose all of that. Oh, that's perfect. We'll start with this one because I don't want to cut any. I like it exactly the way it is. And then I could take this green graph, whatchamacallit. Do I have a, but I don't, but it doesn't stand out really well. I do have that. That's more neutral. That's much more neutral. And just dig through your scraps and see what you find. Like I said earlier, if I just chose that. So I have a piece of this. I think I'm going to use some of that there. Or do I want to go with this? That scrap is nice by itself. Sometimes I look at these scraps because I have paper on the back. They're great for scrappy doos. Little scrappy doo pad. That's what I'm saving that for, because I like that. My brain always going, thinking of all things I work on. Okay, come on. Normally I have a ton of trying to. I know what I'm looking for and I'm just not finding it. That might work. This is only the start of my scraps, guys. This will be a good piece to use. I'm going to pull it out since I'm going to be looking for pieces anyways as I go. That's a good one that I might use. That's a good one that I might use. Just so that since I'm already digging through this. The only thing I love this big container because it holds a lot of scrap. But it takes a lot to look through it. I got to go through it and organize it. I think that's too small. Whoops. Yeah, unless I collaged a little bit more where I put it here. No. I do like that piece, but it doesn't suit there. I'm leaving those out because those are pieces I'm considering. So let's put them to one side. This is too small, unless, I know what I want, guys. I know what I want, but I'm not finding it. I want like, oh, maybe this. Nope, too small. Is that too small for this? Yeah. They kind of got to be long, if you understand what I'm saying, long enough. No fears, I have another scrap box right beside me. I have to do some master boards with my scraps. This is, I did a scrap swap with someone, so this is the scraps they sent me. Oh, that's cardstock, but that might look really nice. Oh, she's cute. Need to do a cat and start collecting cat ephemera. Oh. I didn't really want to use book page on book page. I'm trying to find something like this, but with more of a advertisements printed on it. And I should have thought of that before I turned on the camera and pulled out some papers. And what I was going to say, a good thing to do with these scrap challenges, and obviously, is set an alarm for a certain amount of time. I don't have anything like that. Well, I have that one. Woo, woo, woo. Pull that out. And if you don't have digitals, I mean, you can use anything, scrapbooking, music paper, anything, like I said, the scrapbooking paper. I just have a lot of digital printouts. And there's nothing here that I want. I just have something in particular in mind that I really, really want. But I might end up using this, even though it's ready to be used in a bag. Do I have something? This is for the journal I'm working on, so I'm just thinking, do I have a plain script paper in here or advertisement? I don't. I don't. But I don't have. I'm frustrated. This would have been perfect with it, but it's short unless I added something else to it. But this would work too. This nice piece of cardstock. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to glue this on. Stop piddling about here and get some pockets done. These are nice and easy to do, especially if you know what you're going to use and you're not like me fumbling about like a craziness. And you don't have to cover it as much if you want more of the book pages showing. That's up to you. And you can embellish this more. That's not a problem either. Like I could put a butterfly on the bottom, anything like that. I know I don't want that edge piece there, but I know I want, thinking, did I bring a ruler with me? I didn't. So let's see if I can go across like this. And then like that. But I'm not done yet. Like I could double layer that. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll trim it after. Now this is the piece I cut off, trying to get it to go nice. And I'm not throwing that away. Yep, I keep those little tiny scraps. So I want to glue this on. I have to get my eyes checked. Even this size. Sometimes I hate that with scrapbooking paper because you don't want to. And glue that up as high as I want it. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim it. And that won't be thrown out, but I'm just going to turn it that way. And then I'm going to take that piece. I don't want the same sitting on it, but I don't really want that bottom showing much because it's so pale. But why did I use... Oh, so you see what I did? You see what I did? So I'm going to have to wait a few minutes. You can glue, sometimes you glue the wrong side, and in the case of the glue stick, a lot of times I just let it dry a bit. There, I'm going to leave that like that. So there, that's one side done. Now I'm going to leave this because I got to let this dry before I can do the other side. So let's try another pocket here. Now that I pulled out some papers here. So this isn't neutral, but I do use a lot of pinks, and it's pretty neutral pink. So I'm going to go ahead, but the problem is, what will I use? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's use that up there and take... Did I not pull? I did pull. Yes, I did. I know I did. I was going to make this into a bag, but I'm going to use it now because I want a piece of this. It's a printable. Sorry, guys. I have a lot of printables. I have a lot of scrapbooking paper, but it's very heavy. And so it probably won't work as well. See, now... I think I want to go like that. Yep, yep, yep. This glue is getting, I'm scraping the edges. Does anybody dig out the glue? Sometimes I dig out the glue and spread it on with one of these, because sometimes there's so much glue on that inside and I hate wasting it. Now, if you don't want to cover all the book page up, you could move. Nothing says you have to collage that whole side up. You could leave some of it showing if you want. We'll try that. We'll leave. The only reason I'm doing this is I'm going to go in here and tear that there. And I'll leave a little bit like that. And then what's nice is, even if you find that a little plain, I I don't know if I have one handy. Could be any type. Oh, that's attached to something. I thought it was loose. I'm just going to pull something out. You could add a label if you wanted to. If you wanted to add more, take away from there. A nice tiny label would be perfect. And just add a little label in there. And you can do more of that type of thing as well. Just going to see. This is a ones I make personally, and I do sell them. I sell them already ready to go. And you get 20, you get 50 of them. Is it 50? I don't even remember my price right now. I think I want one with a little color. I'm going to go with that one. Now, you don't have to embellish it. If you want to leave it and embellish it later, like I'm not putting on any flowers or butterflies or anything like that right now. I just wanted to, so you can stick a little label on it. I want to pull that down off that rose a little and go that way with it if you want. And you can collage more on this if you want it. If you had a little bit of music paper, you could put that in. Same even down here. If you had, let's just say that you wanted to add a little more to it, you could throw collage layers up without a problem. I know what I want here. And what I'm doing is because I'm going to put the glue on it and then trim it from there. Because I want to just balance it the way I want it. I kind of want it that lace. And I think this is a digital of Gail, one of Gail's digitals that I bought a long time ago. I didn't bring a ruler. Sometimes I like to use a ruler just to tear it, to give it more of an effect. And again, if you don't want to cover the whole page, bring it up. This is where a ruler does come in handy for tearing it. Yeah, thought I could tear it with my fingers. And normally I do have a ruler here, but I don't know where my heavier ruler is. This thing, I've chipped it and broke it and because it's not very strong. There we go. And then with this, I don't have any roses cut right now, but a pretty pink rose or flower on here would be nice. Okay, now we do the other side, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I am going to do something like this. And again, you can ink these up if you want. That's up to you what you want, like if you like inking or don't like inking. I used to love inking everything, and I've now stopped doing that as much. And again, I think I want to tear this a little like this. I don't mind the rough look. I actually like that. And I'm just gonna then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little piece of that on. That one didn't take me long, did it? Not like the other one. There we go. If you want to do the same paper, you could do that as well. That's your choice. I'm doing it because I don't mind it, but I glued too much on my desk. But I'm almost thinking of I'll save that for another one, but a nice green behind that. Now that I did that, it gets Too busy for it. I really want a bit of green on it. I really do. So I'm going to steal a little piece from that. Okay, glue that down. So if you only have small pieces, do more of a collage if you're trying to use up some of these awkward pieces we get in our collection sometimes, or the smaller pieces we like to hold on to. Now, I'm not decorating the inside because depending on what I decide to do in the book, will change how I wished I would have inked that one, but that's okay. There we go. And again, another cute little label would look good there. I don't know where I put my... I got my Easter jar. Oh, things are blowing. Oh, these scraps would be perfect. Let me grab those 2 scraps. So like, for instance, you could put a rose on that. Obviously, that one's a little big. A little flower you could even put on there like that. If you want it to, when you go to embellish it. I have something in here I'm looking for. That's great for... I thought there was one sitting on the top, but I guess I was wrong. So then something cute sitting in it, like a little bingo card. It's actually cute in it. Oh, guess I didn't have one sitting to the top. See, even that I could... I'm leaving that out because I'm going to put... Even though I was going to leave it neutral. That's another nice one for a back. Just go into my... Put my glasses down. That might help. I was seeing if that was too small. Come on, I had one of these, but I guess I don't. And I keep looking, diving deeper, thinking it's going to show up. But it's not. See, and this is where like a stamp, you could put a stamp even on it, depending on what you're doing. So those are little ways you can embellish it. Just simple little, depending on the color you had in there, to add a little more to it. You can do that at the time. You can embellish them all if you want now. Because some people, especially if you're going to make these, maybe you're thinking, okay, I plan to do this type of journal in the future. Why not while I'm making it and decorating it? I'll think of it. Okay, so they didn't have, after I dug through this, I'm going to pull that out because that's going to make a good bottom. I was looking for something and it wasn't in here. After all that, see, something like that sitting in it would look cute. A cute little advertisement like that. Even using something like this on the pocket, if you have anything like that, you could do. Oh, that actually would have looked nice there. I'm going to leave that out because and that's pretty neutral. Like I can use that in green, and that nature, can't talk, a nature journal, anything like that. So even something like that would be cute in there. I saved these half clocks, so I could even have put something like that on it. We're going to leave that out for the next pockets. But what I wanted, I found lots of other little things, so that wasn't bad. I have my white. I might use a piece of that. Isn't that when you think you have something sitting there that you put there, but you end up not having it there? And I swear I had one sitting there. So I'm just popping in some of the butterflies. I don't really want. I know what I'm looking for, but I can't find it. Because it's just a thought that popped in my head. So let's just grab this one. This one's kind of handy. So grab out your labels. Any of this would look cute that you could put on it as well. So you could add those to it if you wanted to add more to it at the time. Different things like that, especially if you have very neutral ones. Like this is too harsh for this one, really. I need something a little softer because I want to keep it pretty soft. But these ones are not really like that. See if I have anything on this side. These are Pink Monarch Porch, and I love them. I put my glasses down again. Okay, here. I was thinking something like this is what I was thinking. Yep. It's too much. It's too much. Anyways, I'm going to leave the embellishing until later, but there's that. Now for me, I probably would put paper so that you could write in here. I would make a journaling spot. So that's basically what I would end up doing in the inside, as like almost like a hidden, put paper on each side. You could put a full one. I prefer to do this because it bends easier, and put little writing spot on the inside. Or you could add more pockets if you want. You could take something like this and add another little pocket if you wanted to. Or you could just collage it and it could be just something pretty to look at as well. So it all depends on how you want it. I want to put that one to the side. Let me see if this dried now so we can continue. Since I kind of have this theme going, I was thinking of pulling this over, but this is a little big. But then again, this would work. Let me see what happens when I trim that up. It might be just a little small. Yeah, it's too small. But if I had a longer piece like this, I could do something like that. But then it's lost in it. And again, this would look... See, this page is bigger. So we're just... A lot of my scraps are, unfortunately, the same size. See, I thought that was perfect, but I guess this was a smaller page I did. And I don't have any more small ones like that. So if you have smaller ones, that's what that works on. It goes back in there. But it doesn't work as well with this. Now I have these. I make this. It's nothing special. I saw Leslie do it, but it's a little too small for that pocket. It might suit this bigger pocket, but not that. And this is just a book page with scrap, and I put some paint on it. Maybe I have one in. Look at it. Doing... I want more of a neutral. I kind of like the music page, but I'm not going to do the whole thing that color. I think what I'm going to do is take a piece of it to collage on there. Put that back there. but I'm going to add more to that. I'm going to put something on the bottom of it. This is when if I had a nice plain pink paper, not something as, no, that's peachy. Could do as you can see, I probably overthink mine too much. Is probably I'm going to put that there. When something doesn't come together, just go and rethink it. Put it aside. Something else while I'm doing something else might pop up. I could, if I had a piece longer, put that there. Just get rid of some of this garbage. No, I don't like that. Why I'm doing this is because I have, that's normally in, that's perfect. I have some scraps in here. That's why I'm going in here. I say that and then I can't find scraps. I'm trying not to tear up new paper, and I'm trying to use scraps. This is all my pink scraps because it's the shade of journal I'm working on, but I also have some greens and yellows in it. Because I've already torn this one up some. You might even have something like these, but they're too round. I'm just looking through everything. I've got piled sitting in piles that I could use. But we're not done that. Have you ever been working on them and not finished them because you go on to something else? This pocket again, I've been trying to make it too small. It needs to be a bit bigger. There we go. I'm using this because I'm doing a purple one. This is what I mean. If you know journals you're working on and you have the scraps or the things laying around that you could use, pull them out. I grabbed them earlier and stuck them to the side here. And I'm going to lose a little bit of this. So I'm just going to trim a little off this side and a little off of this side and try to make it fit. There. I like that. There we go. Like that. So it doesn't just have to, I mean, you can use anything you want there. It's what you have, what you want to do, what you're using it for. They're your pockets. only reason I grabbed this one is because last night I was working on my purple journal till about 2 in the morning. I got in a good flow with it, and so I have to trim that up just a touch, wee little bit. And so this was sitting on the top of my desk from last night. So I thought, oh, that would be good on the pocket. And this is a piece of, this I got, she sent me Happy Mail, Karen. And so I kept it because the other side had beautiful paper. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. I have scraps everywhere, guys, because depending on my project I'm working on. And yes, I'm going plain because I'll embellish it later with more. I'm trying to do this, also trying to do quickly. As you can see, I'm not getting much done. Now, also what I forgot to say, because if you can use washi tape too. Let me put this on. There'd be a little noise. Sorry, they're coming in from outside and they're taking the snow off their boots. I'm not worried that didn't come out extremely even, because I'll fix that up in a second. Yes, it's plain, but I'm going to add things to that later that won't make it so plain, because I don't mind that. Glue it on. Show you, I'm taking the plain color because I want it to kind of matchy match, not totally. And I know I seen something earlier here. All these scraps all over my desk. That's me. I work in a mess most of the time. I threw it in here somewhere. What I'm looking for. Nope. Right here, I think. Nope. That can be used. Okay, it's not here. It was, but now that I want it, it's not. So I give up. In a few minutes, I'll come across it. I know I will. I know I will. Just putting these scraps neater. Want to use that. Throwing some of the scraps off my desk that I know I won't use right now. Can use that just so that I can work better and maybe find some things that I want to use. That's a scrap I plan to use. Here, this is so with this, I've just got my washi tape, and somewhere in here is the, I wished I remember where I bought this one from. I'm almost done, and I love this one. And you can do just a simple touch of washi on it and just go that way with it. And just when you go to collage, I could take this label